Now, about time, I think, we went on a pub crawl. How about that? Now, how would you like to go on a virtual pub crawl, though, through historic Oxford and score points by sampling drinks in some of the city's most iconic pubs? All this without leaving home or opening a drink. In fact, you can do it in your car this afternoon. Unless, of course, you'd like a little tipple if you're at home, of course. Now, earn bonuses through events like happy hours and quiz nights, but watch out for dangers like punting mishaps or dodgy kebabs, which could end your night on a rather bad note. Now, one of the creators of this new pub crawler game is Lorna Boyes. Now, she moved from Western Australia 3 years ago. She's had a career in law. She worked at Oxford University Press, and she's worked in an Oxford pub, which makes Lorna well qualified, I think, to come up with a game like this. And Lorna joins me this afternoon. Good afternoon, Lorna.
Good afternoon.
Now, I think, in fact, Lorna, just do me a favour, in fact, because I've had an engineer in here, and he swapped microphones when I had a chef cooking, so you're going to have to use that microphone if you will.
No problem.
That's better, we can hear you now. Now, Lorna, I mean, quite a career journey, you know, but never mind the flight from Western Australia. I mean, what did you think of Oxford when you first landed on Oxford soil, as it were?
I just couldn't believe it. I mean, a lot of people, both here and at home, when we said we were moving out, said, what on earth are you moving to England for, you know? And it's true, we do have the nice weather and beaches and lots of space in Western Australia, where I'm from, but we don't have anything like the beautiful architecture and history that you have here in Oxford. And I mean, there are pavements here in Oxford that are older than any building in Perth. So I guess the first reaction was just amazement, walking around and seeing all the beautiful old colleges and thinking about all the famous people who'd passed through those doors. And
So really, it wasn't much of a sacrifice, to sacrifice the weather of Western Australia to actually be inspired and enjoy the architecture.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is a place that inspires you to learn with the university and all the history. You just sort of want to soak everything up.
It's a very cerebral city.
It is.
Moving from a different country, is quite a feat anyway. But setting up your own business then, I mean, and you did that, quite early on after being here for a couple of years. So, how did you find that? And I mean, were you well supported?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, as you said before, I've had a varied background, and it turns out that just by coincidence, having a background in law and publishing sets you up quite well to research, set up your own business, and then publish your own card game. So
I can imagine. So let's talk about this card game pub crawl. I mean, how was it actually conceived?
Okay, so it was a bit of a long journey, and it started really just as a bit of fun and a bit of a joke when myself and some friends, we were exploring the various Oxford pubs and getting to know all the stories about the people who used to go there and the various associations that they have. And we used to sometimes take cards with us and play in the pubs, and then after a while we started to think, well, wouldn't it be fun to have a card game about the pubs in Oxford? And, started with just some hand-drawn cards as a bit of fun, and then as it sort of snowballed and developed, we started to look at it and thought, well, we might have something here, and if we've really enjoyed it, other people might enjoy it, and went from there, really.
So actually the research was quite good fun to do, I would imagine, because you of course had to go on several pub crawls yourself.
Absolutely,
across Oxford. So what were the highlights of the research?
Well, we had one particularly good night where we did an East Oxford pub crawl because we wanted to knock off quite a few pubs in one go. So I think we visited about 5 or 6 pubs maybe in one night down in East Oxford, including some that, we hadn't been to before. So that was a good night. And
did you tell the pubs, the landlords about what you were doing?
No, not at all. No, we, it wasn't until reasonably late on that we actually decided to do this properly, as it were. Up until then, I don't think we really expected it to turn into a proper business, but
it has.
It has.
Now, I want you just to sort of explain to me a little bit how the card game works, because I think this would be great at Christmas, after that big Christmas meal.
Absolutely.
Sitting around the Christmas tree playing pub crawler.
Yeah, well, it's the idea of it is, as you mentioned, to take a virtual pub tour around Oxford. in the form of a card game. So you don't have to be in the pub, you don't have to be drinking, but you can do that as well if you like. But we've chosen 40 of the sort of best known pubs within central Oxford. And the idea is that you collect, we've got lots of colourful photographs of the different pubs on the cards, but we've also got colourful drink cards in there and the quirky action cards, as you mentioned, with sort of very Oxford-specific things like cycling to get to the pub first and get an extra turn, or going to a quiz night and winning and getting extra points. But then there can also be bad things that happen to you on a night out. Like you mentioned, you might get a dodgy kebab or get stuck on the cobblestones, which might slow you down or lose you points. And the idea is that you play with family or friends and you build up your own virtual pub tour with the cards, and whoever manages to score the most points at the end and avoid having the bad cards played on them is the winner.
Well, we're going to talk about the trivia that's included in the game in a few moments' time as well.
BBC Radio Oxford.
Radio for Oxfordshire. Kat Orman on BBC Radio Oxford.
And I'm going to go on a virtual pub crawl right now. I'm going to play the Pubcrawler game. Lorna Boyes, one of the creators, joins me in the studio. I do want to hear about your favourite pub in Oxfordshire and why. 03459 311 111 or text 81333 and start your message with the word Oxford. It's BBC Radio Oxford. A very good afternoon. Now, I have been playing the Pubcrawler game. I'm going to return to that in a couple of moments' time as we go on a virtual pub crawl around Oxford. Now, joined in the studio by Lorna Boyes, one of the creators of the Pubcrawler game, which Lorna, in fact, we have actually just been playing and was quite getting into it because you dealt the cards. Mm-hmm. You gave me, how many did you give me in the first place? You gave me 5. We started the game. You picked one from the pile up. I picked one up and we started playing with pubs.
Yes. So I'm currently visiting the Victoria Arms, which would be a beautiful place on a sunny afternoon like this, down near the river.
And equally, the Trout Inn down by the river as well. So another beautiful pub. What I love about this game actually is not only the fact that, you haven't got lots of bits, lots of little pieces that you can lose because, with some board games, you've got quite a bulky board and then there's little bits to go with it and then you kind of lose them and then you can't play the game properly ever again. And I also love the trivia with this game as well. You just gave me actually a little piece of paper with all the trivia on. And in fact, I'm going to ask you a question. Not you, Lorna. I'm going to ask the listeners a question this afternoon. Because if I give you a fact, now this is from the trivia from the Pubcrawler game. Now, this is a bit of a fact. So I want you to tell me where this is. Now, this is a meeting place of the Inklings writing group, including J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. Nicknamed the Bird and Baby, it takes its name from the crest of the Earls of Derby. So I want you to tell me where that is. 03459 311 111, or you can text 81333 and start your message with the word Oxford. So you must have really enjoyed sort of finding out more about Oxford. I mean, you must know in a way more than some people that live in Oxford and have been all their lives, and you're from Western Australia.
Yes, well, you'd like to think so, but certainly none of our pubs back home have nearly as interesting associations as Oxford, so it's been great fun.
And I mean, what's the one thing that you found out about Oxford that possibly you would never have known before, but what was the one thing that you thought, wow, that's incredible?
Gosh, wow, there's so many. I guess just all the people who've been through Oxford, who've made such an impact on the world, and the fact that Oxford's not a museum. It's not just about who's been through here and what they've done, but it's still such a centre. For example, some of the lectures I've been to see from amazing people who I would never have had the chance to ever see before, and you just realise that it's still a living, breathing, institution that's still making an impact on the world. So,
well, congratulations with this game. Will this be the first and last from Cardigan Games, or will we expect some more?
Well, we've certainly got lots of ideas, but we've just recently launched this in the past couple of months. So we've been really pleased with the response so far. There's been a lot of interest in it and a lot of great feedback. So that's encouraging, but we'll just have to see how things go.
Just had a couple of people getting in touch with the show. Roger from Cowley and Donald from Oxford. Now, you remember what I did ask you just a couple of moments ago. I've just got to find it now. I've put it away. Here we go. Now, I asked you Which is the meeting place of the Inklings writing group, including J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, nicknamed the Bird and Baby. It takes its name from the crest of the Earls of Derby. Now, Roger from Cowley, Donald from Oxford think it's the Eagle and Child in St Giles. They are absolutely right. So lots of great trivia with that, which is fantastic. Well, good luck with the game, and a great time of year to have launched a game before Christmas, because nothing like sitting around the Christmas tree in your Christmas jumper with the fire going and playing a game like this.
Yeah, great.
Well, good luck with it, Lorna, and thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.